The tape between these two sides. Glenn Lauder made mention of the amazing record that Brisbane Roar have against Central Coast Mariners. There's confirmation of it. Green lights everywhere for Brisbane Roar, so this might make them feel a bit better ahead of this one. They've only lost 2 as well. 2 of 21 games in Gosford. The last loss for Brisbane against Central Coast way back in April of 2014. Astounding. Let's get to burning questions, our 3 big topics in a football sense, before what we're about to see. And Boz, to you, firstly about the Central Coast Mariners and Ben Kennedy. Tom Glover came to the Central Coast Mariners this season from Tottenham with a big reputation, and he can't get a run. He's got injured. Ben Kennedy's been in there. Is that fair enough?
Well, it is, because Ben Kennedy's been performing well. Goalkeeper possession is 9/10, and that means whoever's in the goal, if you continue to play well, you deserve to keep your place. And goalkeepers are unlike any other position in one way, but in another way, I've always found, looking back on my career, even though at the time you don't like it, Archie, when you've got somebody breathing down your neck, you do perform better.
Brett Holman, if Brisbane are to get anything out of this game, you dare say that he has to play well, if not his best game for the Roar overall. Is he capable of just turning the switch, given his capabilities as a player?
Yeah, look, he's had an interrupted season with injuries, but we all know what he's capable of. We've seen it with the Socceroos. We've seen glimpses of it with the Brisbane Roar team, and I think if they're going to push top 6, they need him on the pitch along with all their experienced players, and it's great to see that Johnny's gone on the front foot and he's put the past week behind him, made some changes. It's going to be key, because these 2 teams are pushing for a top 6.
Yeah, so which means it is a huge opportunity for
be key, because these 2 teams are pushing for a top 6.
Yeah, so which means it is a huge opportunity for both sides, given the fact that a bit's gone on in the last couple of weeks with both sides scratching around to find that form, which puts the pressure, and this is one of these intriguing matches to see who cracks first. So from a Brisbane Roar perspective, though, given the week that they've had, a loss means ... Fill in the ...
Well, a loss means... I wouldn't say absolute disaster, but you're approaching it. Put it that way. It's imperative for them to bounce back. They just saw a wonderful performance by Adelaide away from home, well, and showing true character. They need to do that today.
And Archie, if you are in that situation, in the Brisbane Roar situation, how intent are you, more than any other ordinary game, to right a few wrongs?
Well, Johnny said that their training session before the match was intense, and they want to put a good performance on over the week. I mean, let's not forget they had a good performance against Perth in the league, and they got the 3 points when it was needed. They need 3 points now, because if you start dropping points, especially we're coming towards the end of the season, and when it comes crunch time, you're going to be not in that top 6 and not playing final.
So there's a heap on this for both sides. A quick tip, Arch?
I've got, I think, Central Coast.
Central Coast?
Yeah, Central Coast.
I think so.
Adam?
Brisbane.
Oh, OK.
Brisbane. Let's get to the ground right now and hand it over to Andy Harper, and a very good evening to Brenton Speed.
Thanks very much, Adam. Here come the 2 teams for the most played fixture in A-League history. It's the 45th meeting between the Mariners and the Roar. What about the record for Brisbane at this venue? The 22nd clash here. The Central Coast have beaten the Roar just twice here at home. Can they add to that tonight? Both teams locked together on 16 competition points, only separated by goal difference. Important night for both clubs. Let's check the team news. And there's one change to the 11, which started in last week's draw in Sydney, with Danny De Silva returning to the lineup at the expense of Andrew Hall, who can't even get a spot on the bench, with the club refusing to expand on the reasons for that. A stack of changes to Brisbane's 11, with the Roar missing Fahid Ben Khalfallah due to suspension. Jade North makes his first A-League start since the round 5 meeting with the Mariners, while last week's match winner Brett Holman is a starter for the first time since late November. Just a week and a half since leaving the Roar to join the Mariners, what chance Peter Skopedis has a say on tonight's final result off the bench? Kick-off not too far away.
Joyce Main backed in the Utes. Chock full of technology bargains for the Australia Day long weekend. You'll be laughing with great deals on student devices. Hop in for up to 20% off current laptops in stock and up to 20% off stocks of desktop and all-in-one computers. With so many bonds and deals in store, only a galah would miss it. This Australia Day long weekend only.
Joyce Lane, no worries.
Everything looks fresher in slow-mo. Like these juicy, ripe, 100% Aussie peaches. Aldi. Good. Different.
To see this land is to journey beyond.
Our referee tonight is Adam Kersey. 18th game for him. He's been getting a lot of games of late. Handed the match ball over to Massimo Macaroni, who's goalless in his last 4 games. And we've got a couple of Queenslanders in their mid-30s who started out together as professional footballers way back in 2001. Head-to-head tonight, Josh Rose and Matt Mackay, former teammates at the Brisbane Strikers, and still going head-to-head here in 2018. Brisbane unbeaten in their last 10 games against the Central Coast Mariners. 26 goals to 7 during that run. Last Mariners win, April of 2014 against Brisbane. Last home win was a year before that. Players in position and ready to go in Saturday night football. Second game in our doubleheader tonight. Macaroni and Mackay look to get Brisbane on the front foot. Andy Harper is alongside for the call, and such an important night for both clubs.
Good evening, Brenton. It certainly is. The Mariners can get on the edge of the top 6 with a win here. It's of huge interest to the home fans, but I think most people around the game in Australia are looking to see if the 11 men representing Brisbane Roar Football Club can turn the industrial strength fan to blow the fog of shame that descended upon the club away on Tuesday night. That's the challenge confronting Brisbane here this evening.
Yeah, they're back to the A-League shirts tonight after those makeshift Asian Champions League jerseys fell apart the other night. This man leading the press, Eric Botiak.
And of course, when you have a moment like that, poor result, forgettable scenes from a football club viewpoint, players just love the opportunity to run out on the field and try and correct things. And we're going to learn pretty quickly if the Brisbane team is really up for the reputational correction that's required tonight.
Yep, dubbed the worst week in the club's history, and not many would argue that. The winner of 3 championships, of course. Not going to be part of the Champions League this season. Knocked out by the Filipino Minnows. The ball was intended for Leck, cut out by Golick. Jack Hingett. Pretty rock-solid 11 that Brisbane put out tonight.
Yeah, it's wonderful experience. No small measure of quality across the starting team, and the man on the ball there, Thomas Christensen, left out of the Champions League campaign as it was supposed to develop so that he could rest his weary body. A big inclusion tonight.
Beautiful ball out there from Young to find the feet of Botiak. Barrow will tidy up. Hung up by Kennedy. Apia does get the flick on. Christensen and Mackay, the midfield duo. Corey Brown was ignored last time he made a decent run, but they picked him out this time. And the cutback is going to find Macaroni on the turn. And Brett Holman is saying, if you left it for me, I've got a much easier chance to side foot that one home.
Well, the early signs for Brisbane are very, very encouraging. It was a beautiful move down the far side. Corey Brown not at his best recently, but he in full stride is an exciting prospect. Beautiful cutback. And Brett Holman was looking to run through that ball from the edge of the box, as you called it, Brenton. The off-balance Macaroni, perhaps unaware that his teammate was in a better position. No chance, fashioned by Brisbane early.
And he was screaming for it as well, Brett Holman. And when a number 9 has that opportunity as well, they're not going to give it up too often. De Silva clearly tugging Christensen to the deck. Came off the bench last week, De Silva, against Sydney FC after just returning from international duty with the under-23 side. North, first time, gave Holman an opportunity, but Golick just towers over him. Melling turned it over. Botiak. Wearing that number 22 shirt, so often associated with Thomas Broich, of course, a legend of the Brisbane Roar. Just wonder how much they're missing the influence of Broich right across the board this season in this campaign. Here's Brown again, proving a real handful, but credit Apia for his defensive work there.
Good pressure again from Brisbane, only very early days, of course, and you can imagine, Brenton, can't you, the words, final words of Mariners coach Paul Ocon ringing in the ears of the players. Beware the wounded lion, beware the wounded roar. And you can say it as much as you want. Just never know till you get on the field how the opposition is going to react. It's been all Brisbane so far, very positive from the visitors.
Yeah, that was the headline out of Ocon's pre-match media press conference yesterday. Beware the Brisbane backlash.
And amazing how quickly the discussion changed, because this time last week, the Mariners away to Sydney FC was just a fantastic performance by the Central Coast. And leading into Tuesday night, I think most people were thinking the Mariners will probably get back at home with their spinnaker full and have a real go at Brisbane.
Well, there he is, all suited up, Andrew Hall. It's going to be a question for Paul Ocon post-game, why he's not even part of the matchday squad. Andrew Hall, who leads the club in so many statistical categories this season, including assists with 5. Couldn't even nab a spot on the bench with the likes of Bahaja and Skapetis preferred tonight. Be pretty warm in the suit too, sitting in the stands tonight. Pretty muggy in this part of the world. R18. Rose makes the run. Got it through the legs of Hingett. Papadopoulos stood up. Got some help from young Daniel Leck. Apia with that closing speed. Brisbane have a player down, and not a great sight for John Aloisi in the opening 10 minutes here, because Thomas Christensen has been plagued by soft tissue problems all season. And he might be done already by the looks of that, Harps.
This is not an encouraging side at all for Brisbane fans. Guy already heavily strapped. He's surely saying to the trainer, I'm long odds to finish this one. A horrible start for him.
And they've got a new physio in operation tonight, Stuart Leake, formerly of Hull City, involved very early on in this one as Christensen limps off. Ready-made replacement in midfield is Mitch Oxborough off the bench. Brisbane defending with 10 right now. It's one for Powell to chase. Jamie Young did well as sweeper keeper.
The first moment from Tom Yario on the ball now. That testing pass that Jamie Young reacted to well.
See Brisbane trying to reorganise. That's a nice weight on that pass, just holding up on the wet deck. Papadopoulos away. Melling attacks it, and the shot Flashes across the face, well wide in the end, but worth a crack.
And good positive response from the Mariners. Alert to the one-man advantage. Tom Hiaria steps up. Hadn't seen him in the opening exchanges. Spreads the field with 2 passes, gives the advantage ultimately to the Mariners, and not a bad effort from Jacob Melling.
A confirmation that change has occurred. Oxborough, the lefty, slots in on the right side of central midfield right now. Mackay, another lefty, in there as well. Leck told to move it on quickly. Nice movement from Holman. And then it just got away from him. It really is blustery at pitch level, and that's down breeze right now, the way that ball was travelling.
What a good intensity from the Raw. Quick throw-in, quick retakes. And Brett Holman was quick to pressure in that last instance as well to win the throw. Anthony Golek hitting the ball out. The gust of wind shooed the ball over the byline.
They've been winning their share of flick-ons early. Melling got to that one. High stayed down. Not the kind of ball that Macaroni wants to be chasing. Risky little chip, but he's found his mark, Ben Kennedy. Nice distribution. And Papadopoulos is breaking up Mariners' attacks more often than not right now. The Greek international. Barrow and Golek were wonderful against Sydney FC last week. Could easily have had a 2-goal break and maybe gone on and take all 3 points, but they paid the price for that, conceding a late equaliser to the Sky Blues. Melling pounces ahead of Mackay. Here's where the Mariners like to string the passes together now on the quick counter. De Silva tries to knife one, and it was so close for Blake Powell to maybe slide and get on the end of. Takes on the pass that not many see. Wasn't too far away there, the young number 10.
Well, I guess there was a thought that he might try and line up the target himself, and at live speed you're expecting Blake Powell maybe to throw caution into the face of that stiff breeze and just slide in, as you called it. Speedy, a good early moment from Danny De Silva. There's a great steal by Jacob Melling, anticipating the pass from Papadopoulos.
North picking out his Jade North, around Josh Rose. There's veterans everywhere you look right now. Brisbane's average age tonight in their starting 11, 31.3 years of age. It's been one of the criticisms this season about Brisbane. Not enough youth in the squad. See whether that experience can count towards 3 points tonight. Macaroni, Mackay, Holman. Just let it slide under his foot. Silver again. Hiaria quickly to the local junior, Lockie Wales. Too much on that for De Silva.
That's an issue of decision-making from Lockie Wales. So he receives that ball. He's got to decide, do I feed the run of Danny De Silva now, or do I take the defender on? And he tried to do both. He tried to get rid of the defender and hit the pass. He didn't have the space for 2.
It was a really weak clearance from Jamie Young that travelled about 25 metres straight to Hiaria. Not punished though, and he apologised to his teammates immediately, the shot stopper. Looking for a better purchase on this one. Well, Papadopoulos let it get outside the area. Did have the option, of course, of touching it inside and just having a retake.
More boisterous work by Jacob Melling to win the ball. Brisbane intent on playing from the fence through midfield. Nice work again from the former Western Sydney Wanderer.
And Adelaide United player and Melbourne City player, of course, Melling. He found Apia. Wales, fans want the ball whipped in. Going to play some pretty passes instead. Nice ball to Silva. Gave McGing a chance. He found the feet of Apia, and again it's Papadopoulos getting the foot in. Mackay beaten to it by Apia. Arms were raised there, but it obviously didn't strike Jade North's hand. No appeal from Apia. A few fans were groaning. Just 17 goals scored so far this season by the Central Coast Mariners.
Which we should point out, Speedy, in fairness, is not a reflection of a lot of the football they've played. It is a really poor goal return, and they've lacked quality in front of the goal, but they've provided plenty of quality up to that point this season, at least on par with the bulk of the competition. That nagging gap in the roster, the playing squad, someone with some experience or speed or nous to finish off the good work in lead-up.
And their former striker, of course, Roy O'Donovan, keeps rubbing it in each and every opportunity after his goal-scoring return since moving up the freeway to Newcastle. Although he has been out injured for quite a while now. Look forward to seeing Roy back. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Apia can push on again. He's got McGing overlapping. De Silva's seen that. Still De Silva. Stands it up, and Wales was waiting for it. Had to be dealt with by Hingett. Confident little back heel from Botiak. Milling again. Brilliant work. Fans appreciating his endeavour as he makes his third straight start for the club. Apia, the two number 13s head-to-head. Now De Silva. And he's trying to find Powell.
I'm not dealing with Danny De Silva at all, Brisbane at the moment, and thankfully for the Raw, he hasn't decided to shoot on goal himself. Maybe a little too unselfish at the moment, the Mariners midfielder. And after Brisbane's right start, they're finding it difficult to get around, through, however you want to describe it. The Mariners have really stepped up in recent times.
Coleman lost Lockie Wales there. Brown wants it. Mackay sees him. Left back's got a chance here. Oh, wasn't a bad option. He wasn't too far away, and Botiak knows it. Good feel about this game. Goalless last time they met in round 5, but feel like there'll be some tonight. McGing again, surging into space. Had to wait a long time for the REA's ball. Back to Melling. Wales opening up the angle. Botiak retrieving it after the deflection off Daniel Leck. Botiak and Brown not on the same page.
They can't stem the tide at all at the moment, Brisbane. That last attack, promising as it was aside, work from Corey Brown, but pretty much every time they're looking to get the ball out of their own half, they're being swamped by the Central Coast.
Melling had a fantastic start so far. Spraying one here. Should stay in for Wales as well. Early service. Blake Powell got around Papadopoulos. Back by De Silva. Golic. A little careless in possession, but he wins it back with a good show of strength against Macaroni. McGing is an outlet, isn't he? Offering him plenty of space.
That one defies description, however. He's been really good value in recent times. Jake McGing, but I struggle to think what he was trying to come up with there.
Oh, high boot. Clearly by Hiarie on Oxborough. Got a good run of games when Christensen was dealing with his injury problem, and then Joe Coletti went down, so Oxborough's had enough game time lately. Sadly, it looks like another stint for Christensen on the sidelines. What can Botiak dish up from the set piece here? Frenchman curls one in. Just one goal so far in Brisbane colours for Botiak. Holman's been another on the injury list for much of the season. Silver again, sprightly. Risky ball into the middle of the park. Straight to Jade North. Botiak told to turn. Holman just too heavy with that final touch. Allowed Melling in. Kai was complaining, but Brisbane have it through Leck. All pretty narrow right now for the Roar, but they find a gap to Leck once more. Oxborough, Botiak, right through the middle. And Holman tried the dummy. How congested it is there. Now there's some space. And that right wing, McGing didn't fancy exploring it himself. Blake Powell just peeled off. Can use the right back once more. De Silva, good movement again. It's hard work to work it into the area. There's still a shot here. De Silva tries the little trick. Rose wraps the cross across the face, and that's an important block by Corey Brown as Powell got the shot away. Patient build-up nearly paid off for the home team. Big switch here. Won't quite get there. Hingett sorts it out in the end. R18 too strong for Leck. Nice ball. Wales can turn and go. Just the slip. Kept it alive. Apia takes a tumble right by the penalty spot, and that's an optimistic shout. Macca's VAR will still do the Mariners the courtesy of checking it out. Not sure what you saw first time around, Harps.
No, they can't surely give a penalty for that. Completely accidental. But the Mariners just looking too sharp across the ground, Brenton, aren't they? Even that last attack from Brisbane, which was built nicely and was a sequence of some good structured passes, but they just, the team didn't look like that. They actually were able to get away from a Mariners opponent and make that crucial half yard of space. Yet when the Mariners have got the ball, they're really making some good progress in behind Brisbane players, and that's going to be offside, you'd imagine. And as much of the talk around Brisbane was about them giving a good account of themselves tonight, and John Aloisi referring to the intensity in training since Tuesday, and that's all good. But at the moment, there's the difference between the teams is the speed across the ground. And Jacob Milling, I think, is the key difference between the teams. Is so sharp at the moment in midfield and really running the show for the Mariners. Having said that,
got him. Milling turned it over. Brett Holman, what an opportunity, and Brisbane take the lead. They wish they could come to the Central Coast each and every week. And with a quarter of the game gone, Brett Holman makes it 2-2. And his first goal as a starter all season.
Well, he's been dealing with everything tonight, Jacob Melling, and he's coughed it up badly. Not quite sure about the reaction of Anthony Golick as well. In diving in, you've got to maybe show a little bit more composure. From that point on, fabulous from Brett Holman. Was never going to miss. Great experience, superb quality.
He got the match winner last week against the Perth Glory in that 5-goal thriller. And now, Brett Holman, the former Socceroo, has the opener. His third of the campaign. Just an incredible record Brisbane have here. Just 2 defeats all time at this venue against the Mariners. Way back to 2005. Really poor giveaway in midfield from Melling.
It's amazing, Speedy, because everything else he's done tonight has been so polished that you wonder when a player receives the ball like that, what goes in his head, why all of a sudden he gets the yips, which is what he got. Matt Mackay was approaching to put pressure on, but he wasn't under heat when the ball came to him.
Good win there by Oxborough, and Holman set free again, but dragged a little too far wide by Macaroni's ball. Well, what's the call there?
Offside.
Offside. Once he eventually touched it, he had to put in the big sprint.
He's appreciating this too, Brett Holman. He says to the assistant referee, aka linesman, you saw me chase the other one down ridiculously with the wind at my back, and now you're just watching. You're just watching me do all this work to get there and save the day, and you take great delight in waving the offside flag. What are you thinking, man, he says.
And as the replay showed, was he actually offside? And Aloisi's asking just that question. He had a great view of it himself, Aloisi, live. Not just on the replays.
Well, the Mariners have to be careful now. Brisbane started the game with great intensity. Mariners took control and were looking pretty dangerous themselves. Jacob Melling makes an error. Brett Holman with a fantastic finish. And it's to the Mariners now, playing at home, who have to make sure they can concentrate.
And the other point Aloisi was saying is keep the flag down. Let the attack brew. They'll go back and check it if a goal comes from it, and that's what's cost Brisbane a few times this season. Macaroni goals chalked off. One-on-one opportunities thwarted. Aloisi feels like if the flag had stayed down a few more times, they might have another 5 points or more. Wouldn't know his team's in front. Look at that shot of John Aloisi who's cooking. Golick tempted Macaroni to maybe pinch it. Here's Melling again. A lot further from goal this time and a lot calmer. Oh, Rose. Curve it straight over to Oxford. Holman. Macaroni just peeled away from Barrow cleverly. Take on the strike as well, but the Spaniard got his body in the road. Oxford's got straight up at the speed of the game, hasn't he? Slipped through by Hingett to Holman across the face. And Holman's entitled to think that Botiak's going to get on the end of that, but he just went the other way, the Frenchman, and that cost him.
Well, again, this is really poor defending from the Mariners. Melling struggling to make up the ground. Never really going to make it from there on replay, I think, Speedy.
But Botiak bent his run back in. If he just continues to run and hope the ball gets across the way, if he knows what Holman's going to do, well, he would have got there.
Initially, we might have been hoping that Holman was going to cut it back a little.
Yeah.
You know, it's a tough game. Fine margins. You don't have a lot of time to react.
Mackay stays down after this challenge. Free kick went against him as he kicked the Achilles of De Silva.
A great boost in confidence for Brisbane. Profiting off Some pretty dodgy midfield play from the Mariners at the moment, who need to settle, or this one will be out of sight for them.
Good leg, and again leg, and again leg. One save. Forward.
Holman having a fabulous game and turning out of a tight situation there. Poked away by Hiario, but there was a foul spotted. Not that the Mariners faithful saw it. Still missing his Dutch mate in midfield, Wout Brummer, although he is on the bench tonight as he comes back from hamstring trouble. Again, keeping the tempo high. Macaroni hoping he might find a teammate. Seven goals so far this season, but none in the last month or so for the Italian international. Has started every game. And you've got to pay credit to him for his professionalism at the age of 38 to do that. When others in the squad have struggled, of course. Look at the breeze having an effect on that goal kick from Ben Kennedy. Didn't get within 10 metres of the halfway. The spin took it away from De Silva. Barrow really kicking lumps out of Macaroni there. One didn't tickle. Macaroni just having a look at Barrow, saying, you might get yours.
He's had worse than that, Speedy, over the course of the last 20-odd years. But I do wholeheartedly concur with your comments about his readiness to play.
Botiak down breeze, having a go from Eddie Bosnar-like range.
Not a bad idea given the unpredictable nature of the wind, which is consistently stiff and then occasionally very, very gusty. Botiak just not hitting it the way he needed to. He's been a good pickup, but hasn't had a clear run. I mean, it took him ages to get cleared to play in the first place. That was one of the problems the club had. Then he hit his own little injury problem. But I don't think there's much doubt that he's a very good footballer, and who knows what's going to happen with his career. But you wouldn't be disappointed to see him playing for Brisbane from this point on.
That's why the free kick was given Apia's way, the hand in the face. Silva had a couple to beat, kept it alive. Apia knew North was coming. Look at Hiarie's ability. Spray that first time pass. Apia, what can he conjure? He goes away from goal, trying to turn provider. The fans are saying he got an opportunity to turn inside and shoot there. But Apia doesn't see that option too often.
Well, his cross got deflected and might have caused more danger if it hadn't been well defended by Brisbane. But the pass from Hiario once again was the highlight of the Mariners' play.
Are they missing that influence of Andrew Hall tonight? His creativity in the final third. Wales must have been close to offside. Flag staying down for the youngster. Hiario had 3 to beat in the end, and Oxborough took it away. That's an important foot in from Golick, but there's still a chance, and Holman knew that he was offside by about a metre.
I'm not chasing this one.
Aimless from Melling. Mackay, can he split the gap? Well, Botiak had timed his run. Oh, just a little too straight from the skipper. Wales was trying to release Lockie Wales, who hadn't taken off. They're not allowing this guy to turn when they can. Brisbane tightened up after he was running the show in the opening exchanges. Danny De Silva.
I'm just looking at this contest between Jack Hingett and Lockie Wales, and Hingett's got Wales in his pocket at the moment, and this is going to be a good lesson for a youngster just coming through. Not that Jack Hingett's over the hill by any means, but he's got to start resting some of the psychological battle and momentum back his way, Lockie Wales. He has been so crucial to the Mariners recently. Set pieces have been great. He was excellent last week against Sydney FC.
Just that unfortunate miss, of course, when he was on the full stretch and got a little bit of a bobble, but he did have an empty net to make it 2-0 to the Mariners.
So I think he's got to start working to get Jack Hingett into two minds. Every time he's received so far, he's squared Hingett up, then he's turned around and played the ball back. Jack Hingett's got the big fat Cuban cigars out.
Wales comes inside
and gets a bit of a shirt front from Hingett. So he knows he's dangerous, Jack Hingett, and he's working to keep the psychological edge. A little bump here, turning him away from goal there. And so the word to Lockie Wales is to get some of your own back. Next time you get the ball, knock it past Jack Hingett and see what he's made of.
See, Matt Mackay's a little flat. He had a good opportunity there to release a couple of teammates, and he doesn't have the right ball out of midfield. A couple of times now, Matt Mackay. Here come the Mariners. Only out for the throw-in.
Disappointing from McGing. Well defended by Corey Brown. McGing's delivery into the penalty area, 6-yard box, has been one of the highlights of the Mariners season so far. He had so much time then to do more with that ball.
Poked away from Apia. Stretch from Melling. Got plenty of ball, but also went through Macaroni, who's in the wars right now. Accepts the hand of friendship from the young midfielder. See, those Brisbane fans have come down in pretty good numbers from the Central Coast. So far, so good. Be a popular one to circle for those Raw fans each and every season. To the away game, taking a bit of beach activity, and see your team win again, as they do so often here. Golick v Holman, not really a fair fight aerially. Not very popular, that decision from Adam Kersey against Wales. Caroni has to give up the chase, but appreciated the attempt from Papadopoulos. Not mucking around with the restart. King just hemmed in. Mackay has it. Goes infield and asks a lot of Oxborough. Again, Matt Mackay's option taking not the best. De Silva. Mariners fans get excited when he strides out. Wales with the early ball. Had to get past both centre halves if it was going to find Blake Powell. Yarier furthest forward really tonight. The Dutchman. Nice little move by Wales to the byline. Stands it up. And McGing was a bit hesitant on whether to attack that one. Botiak took it away from him. Best moment of the night for Lockie Williams.
Well, that's exactly what he's got to build on. Next time he gets the ball, Jack Hingett is going to be thinking a second time, how do I deal with this bloke? So that was good, exciting play from the Mariner. Otherwise, till now, Jack Hingett's had his measure.
A retake on the throw from 2 metres behind where it was taken from. In his own half, so you wonder why we had to go again, but anyway, that's the way the referee saw it. Botiak going into a brick wall. Barrow held his ground. Macaroni rolling, milling very easily. Barrow just kept the hands out of it, tucked them behind the back and had the angles covered. As Brisbane fans were baying for a penalty, but there was nothing doing. Driven out low by Young. That's nice from Leck. Now he wants one played over the top. He made a decent run, but Holman was no chance to clip one over the top the way he was facing. Botiak, trademark little turn inside. Oxborough does find Leck. Timed his run nicely again. Linked up with Holman. Hingett right into a great area. Macaroni. Was he fouled? He's appealing. If he goes around the keeper and maintains control, he's going to tap one home. Very nearly for Brisbane.
Fair dinkum, Speedy. If he, in this win, went round the keeper there, he would have ended up in the Brisbane water.
That little flick out from Kennedy, did it get him? Because VAR still over the replays next door to us. McGing. And it's expertly defended by Papadopoulos, who's just nudging Powell this way and that.
One of the challenges, not just for the Mariners, but a lot of teams in the A-League. But that was a dangerous ball from McGing. The Mariners were just one player short in the penalty area. Blake Powell had made his way to the near post. Lockie Wales was still outside the left-hand side.
They need to get Snicko out.
No Big Mac in that one, Speedy.
Wales hung up in the air nicely. McGing's been a danger from corners. He leads the league with goals from corners with a couple. Brisbane still yet to score from a corner since Thomas Broish against the Victory in a final a few seasons back. And he held his ground here, but couldn't get the power or direction in that header. Pretty quiet right now, Paul Ocon. A little more reserved than we've seen from him through much of the season. He knows he's got an important halftime team talk coming up. Winless in 8 games, not since the home victory over Perth have they claimed all 3 points. An uphill task tonight. Barrow, adventurous. Out for a goal kick. Jamie Young waiting for a ball to come back. There's an interested observer tonight. Tim Sherwood in the house. Former Tottenham boss, Premier League winner with Robbie Slater all those years ago, and he's alongside the Swindon Town chairman as well, Lee Power. Sherwood played against both of these guys back in the 2001 Premier League season when Ocon was with Borough. Aloisi was with Coventry City when the only game they went head-to-head. Aloisi scored the opener in a 2-1 win over Spurs. And they're just checking out local talent because Sherwood actually loaned Massimo Luongo out to Swindon Town. The connection there with Lee Power. And then Power wound up selling Luongo for about $3 million. And they're trying to find another little diamond in the rough down under. Having a chat to Sherwood pre-game, and he thinks back to his playing days when all the Aussies used to come over and make an immediate impact, the Kules in their teenage years, and he's wondering where they all are now. The only one he knows of is Aaron Moy, and of course Matt Ryan in the goalkeeping ranks, but keeping an eye out and having a look ups.
Opportunity knocking, possibly. There's some young Aussie with stars in his eyes.
Those tickets in a pretty nice suite over there, teed up by Mark Bosnich as well, I believe, for those two men out from England for a couple of days.
He is the fixer man, isn't he, Bos?
Can-do man. Oof. Young collides with his teammate, and has he done some damage here to Corey Brown? Young asking if he can put it out of play, so treatment can be provided. They got in a real pickle. Goalkeeper and left back here. Oof. Unexpected contact. Worth a yellow.
Can you get one for friendly fire?
You get red card, can't you?
Yeah, I guess.
Just asked Trev Radalovsky next door if it was worthy of a card, and just waved off the appeal. Brown's been fighting with Connor O'Toole for that left back position. He's been able to win it back tonight. Won't want to lose it like this. Maybe just the shock of it all caused him to stay down, and maybe we're adding to those 2 minutes of stoppage time. Might go to 3 at the end of this first half. Third straight night of A-League action, and we've got another game coming your way tomorrow night to finish off the round. Coming to you from the west. Perth Glory at home to the Western Sydney Wanderers. You can watch each and every game of the Hyundai A-League season live on Fox Sports, of course. Trust you're enjoying tonight's action as well on One right around the country. Hingett was the right idea because Holman had strayed offside again, but just too heavy with that touch inside. Taking their time with the lead on the road. Breaks for Holman. Oxborough. And those passes tough to execute, and the Mariners will have to be alive to that in the second halves. I think it's an advantage with the way they're set up to be down Breeze, chasing the game.
I think it can certainly help them.
Down Breeze, chasing the game.
I think it can certainly help them because of the usual measure that comes with the Hiario distribution. He'll be able to adjust, recalibrate according to the strength of the wind. Often possession-based teams, into which category you'd include the Mariners, like to play against the wind. But I don't think the wind is going to be the major talking point in the half-time address from Paul Ocon.
Well, there we go. We don't add to the 2 minutes. And there goes the half-time whistle. No goals again for Paul Ocon's side. And they are behind to that man's strike. Brett Holman with his second goal in as many A-League games. And that makes the difference right now at half-time here on the Central Coast. It's Brisbane 1, the Mariners 0.
Thank you, Speedy. We're off to a break on Hyundai Matchday Saturday. Back in a moment in the studio, joined by Archie Thompson, Mark Bosnich to get the analysis. How can Paul Ocon get a goal or a few goals out of his side? Well, we'll talk about it right after this.
It's that time of the year when TV's best. It's that time of the year when TV's best shows are all on at once. Oh my God! So what will our goggle boxes have to say about them? The cooking shows.
Yeah.
The dating shows. And that jungle show.
Only stupid people would watch this show.
Like us.
New goggle box on Win.
The future in world-class in-vehicle entertainment is right here. Upgrade your current vehicle with a customised sound and visual system that will blow you away. Or we can design a personalised system to suit your individual taste. Sound in motion, the future is here.
I didn't want to compromise. I wanted everything, and Moorcraft delivered above and beyond. The quality of the finishes, the attention to detail.
moorcrafthomes.com.au. Built right from the start.
Sometimes life gets between you and your book. Search for Jane Austen and over 200,000 audiobooks at audible.com.au.
Thank you for finally listening.
Are you off work and scraping to get by? Did you know you may be able to claim a lump sum payout from your super fund? To find out how, ring Firth the superannuation lawyers on 1800 631 888. And remember, your claim is worth more with us.
Rush into Repco this weekend for massive savings. It's a massive 35% off all Penrite, 40% off trailer parts and trailer lights, and a massive 50% off seat covers. Rush into Repco this weekend only. Don't miss out.
Then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day.
When you're driving, there's only one handprint of tread connecting each of your tyres to the road. That's just 4 handprints to hold you close and keep you safe through all of life's twists and turns. With so much riding on them, you need to be sure you're in the right hands. Hands you can trust, wherever that road may take you. Bridgestone, you're in safe hands.
Keeping your body in perfect shape isn't always easy. Fortunately, keeping your hair in perfect shape is. The Crew Cut exclusive to Shaver Shop with Japanese steel blades which cut in any direction. The Crew Cut from VS Sassoon. The clipper has evolved.
Kids love their Palenque. It's a pillow. It's their blankie. It's a Palenque. It's a mattress, pillow, sheet and blanket all in one. It's completely machine washable. Great for daycare, camping, travelling and sleepovers. Get yours now. Call or visit palenque.com.au.
We all live busy lives. Not only do we have to look after our own skin, but also the precious skin of our kids. I always choose Solar D sunscreen for the whole family. Solar D sunscreen protects with broad spectrum SPF, and laboratory studies show that it lets in some of the UVB light that may assist our bodies in making vitamin D. Solar D is a smart sunscreen when it comes to sun protection.
Blue Care is one of Queensland's leading aged care providers with over 60 years' experience delivering tailored care. We offer the support you need so you and your family continue to live life your way.
Welcome back to Hyundai Matchday Saturday, watching around the country on Fox Sports or Network 10 on Channel 1. It is Central Coast Mariners 0, Brisbane Roar 1. after the week they've had as well. That was imperative that they got off to a quick start. They did that thanks to the goal from Brett Holman. Massimo Macaroni looking for the second. No contact there with Ben Kennedy, so it stays as mentioned. Welcome back to the studio. Archie Thompson and Mark Bosnich to have a word in a moment. But firstly, the Aldi Mini-Roos are out having a little kickabout on Central Coast Stadium right now. And the little tackers are out there, it looks like, the under 6s and 7s, which is great to see. Having a great time out there. Hit up miniroos.com.au to find your local club and register for that local club and get involved in the wonderful sport of football. What a hairstyle. Mini Valderrama there. Outstanding. Boss, what do you make of the first half?
Well, I thought it was a difficult first half for both sides in a lot of ways, in terms of the fact, number one, that they cancelled each other out, and number two, and we saw that result in a goal, both sides making petty mistakes, especially in the wrong areas, and struggling to find their way through each side. Brisbane obviously a little bit low on confidence, but I thought, especially after they scored, they started to play some really good stuff. They need to get Holman on the ball much earlier when he's got more time and space, because he looks one that can make a difference. And the likes of Botiak and Leck on both wide sides need to start taking on their man and have that confidence to go past it and whip it in. And I need more from Macaroni as well. From Central Coast Mariners side, they had that half a chance. I think it was Appio hit that shot that Corey Brown basically cleared, or else that would have went in. But again, a mistake cost them a goal, and they seem to be a little bit on the back foot and they've lost confidence.
Arch, pre-game, you talked up Brett Holman, so pump yourself up about pumping him up right now.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about his qualities, and like I said, pre-match, he's just been hampered with injuries this year, but over the last couple of weeks he's starting to get a bit of game time, starting to find some form, and this is what he does best. I mean, he's good at forcing the pressure.
Yep.
And that was a great little ball, but this is crucial. You don't lose balls in key positions like that, and because if you've got a player like Brett Holman on the end of that, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to get a goal scored against you. But some of the younger guys could watch the composure of Brett Holman, because most of the youngsters in this league at the moment, when they get presented an opportunity like that, they kind of almost snatch at it.
He never looked like he was going to miss it.
No, because he had his composure, he picked his the spot where he was going to hit it, and he's been outstanding. He's been making great little runs in behind. He just adds that little bit of extra up front for Brisbane.
So, Boz, overall, as we have a look at some of the highlights from the first half, the game did at stages seem just end to end to end to end. There was no tempo from either side.
No, I wouldn't say no tempo, but no finished product. Basically, there was two sides. Like I said, for me, one side, Brisbane, started low on confidence, grew in it, and Central Coast Mariners pretty much the other way around. And we saw the result of losing the ball, trying to play out in silly areas, and what it's had with the team for the rest of the half. They've lost confidence. There's a wonderful example of what not, when not to play out, and in certain areas, especially straight balls straight down the middle. Like I said, they're trying to get their, I wouldn't say their range, but they're trying to get their passing game going, especially with De Silva. But they're taking it. There's that one cleared off the line. It's right, Powell. Sorry, not Appia. It's getting a little bit used to having De Silva back in the starting lineup as well. You can see a lot of the players around him are sort of like have been playing without him, now playing with him, and I'm wondering sometimes what's he going to do with the ball. That's no criticism of him. It's just the fact that sometimes it's better to know what your teammate's going to do about it. There's that incident. I think there was slight contact, but nothing to warrant a penalty. Put it that way. So Central Coast Mariners need to reset themselves and to restart. Brisbane, like I said, they need to build on this, because at the beginning, especially at right at the start, when then Christensen came off, you're thinking, this is going to be another day for them. I thought they got better and better throughout the half.
Danny De Silva, your impressions of his first half?
Yeah, look, I think he's the only one that really looks like he's going to do anything in that front third. I think there needs to be a lot more from Powell, Wales, because there's always, I think, a lot of emphasis, and I think a lot of the players in that Central Coast, especially up front, put a lot of emphasis on De Silva trying to create, trying to score goals. I think, I think he needs help. But then Boz touched on it. I think sometimes he does a little bit too much. When a ball could be, there's an example here where a ball could have been played out a little bit early, gives the boy Wales a bit more time to pick out his player to centre, to maybe cross it a little bit earlier. But if anything, maybe just takes a little bit too many touches. But that's a factor. I think that there's not been too much output from his other strikers, where he looks like he's got to take everything on his shoulders.
Boz, early game, huge win for Adelaide in Wellington, 1-0.
Superb character. I mean, last week they lost 5-0. Didn't deserve to lose 5-0 last week, but still, a team with lesser character going away into Wellington, who have been on fire the last 3 weeks, could have easily lost this. They absorbed the pressure very, very early, got themselves back into the game, took the lead through this strike from Blackwood, although Italiano and the defence will be very upset of the way the goal first come about here, and also the strike right towards the end. And then they just settled on, basically in that second half, they were very, very confident of holding Wellington out, and they did. Wellington threw everything they possibly could at them, Archie, but without really I know Rufer hit the bar in the last minute, but I can't remember them really cutting Adelaide open.
No, because the last few weeks Wellington have been outstanding, and you just looked. We talked about Krishna being out; he's a key player for them, especially up front. And Burns and Luich didn't have the same effectiveness that they did over the last few weeks, but that's due to the fact that Adelaide defended really well. They got the goal, and you know, they got the 3 points, especially after the huge loss against City.
We are off to a break on Hyundai Matchday Saturday. Don't forget, on Thursday evenings, live on Fox Sports, Just for Kicks, you can win a car.
Do you have what it takes to score in the top corner? Fox Sports is giving football fans the chance to become part of the Just for Kicks audience and the opportunity to win a brand new Hyundai i30 Elite. To register, go to foxsports.com.au/football/just for kicks.
Then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day.
There are times in your life when a family breakdown could lead to divorce, a parenting dispute, and property settlement.
Or you're about to enter into one of the most important property or business decisions you've ever made, and you have to get it right.
Or you've just realised that the future security of your family just cannot wait.
When that time comes,
you need a team who you can count on.
And who'll be with you every step of the way.
Mumford's Lawyers. Lawyers for life.
Don't spend thousands of dollars on a mattress. Introducing Super Sleeper Pro, the only mattress topper with 3 waves of cushioning support that attaches to any bed like a fitted sheet. Watch this. The super soft memory foam cushions any mattress and passes the raw egg test. The secret is the 3-layer comfort pad technology, while the tri-line system cushions your whole body. Call 0293874100. Get to supersleeperpro.com.au. You'll get 2 adjustable memory pillows absolutely free. 120 nights sleep guarantee. Plus, free postage. Go online and don't miss out.
I didn't want to compromise. I wanted everything, and Moorcraft delivered above and beyond. The quality of the finishes, the attention to detail.
moorcrafthomes.com.au. Built right from the start.
Hey, take a look and see. There's only one place to be. Right at the heart of it all. Entertainment, big and small. You look at night. Yes, in so many different ways. It's easy to tell when you do it so well. This is Marucci RSL. You do it so well.
Such a beautiful home. It's convenient, and I've got just the best friends I've ever had, and I didn't know any of them before I came here.
Being in a community where actually everybody really cares about you is such an inspirational thing. We think it's wonderful.
From my house to Estia, aged care facility, exactly 3 minutes from door to door to get to see my husband. I have a better life than I've ever had.
Living Choice Villages, the choice of luxury and the luxury of choice.
Cleaning makeup brushes can be frustrating. It's fiddly, messy, and takes hours for them to dry. Save yourself the hassle with the Style Pro Makeup Cleaner. The Style Pro hygienically cleans and dries any makeup brush in seconds, leaving them ready to reuse straight away. Its small and compact size makes it the perfect gift. Make your brushes last longer with the Style Pro. Available only at Shaver Shop or online at shavershop.com.au.
Remember how bulky and power-hungry televisions were 15 years ago? Well, air conditioners today are 40% more energy efficient than 15 years ago. Isn't it time you updated your air conditioner? Mitsubishi Electric. Works for me.
Get your front row seat for the Celebrity Showdown of 2018. Two Aussie icons in the middle of Australia's biggest feud will have to live together.
No way!
This program brought to you by Macca's Gourmet Creations range. Now with our thickest, juiciest 100% Angus beef patty. Whatever next.
It's important in life to have a sense of humour about things, and I like that guy's style, Brisbane Roar fan, given what went down earlier in the week with the kit issues. It's only a kit, we get on with life, and Brisbane Roar certainly have lead 1-0 at the break, and that could be a reaction from Paul Ocon right there. Wout Brama is on, got his first international cap under Dutch manager, then Dutch manager, Bert van Marwijk back in the day. New Socceroos boss. Back to the ground, Andy Harper, Brenton Speed.
We're underway in the second half. Mariners making that half-time change. Jacob Melling off, guilty for the only goal of the game conceded by the Mariners. And Wout Brama on, so the two Dutchmen combine again. Silva's not going to get there ahead of Papadopoulos. Awkward fall for Leck on that far side. This guy had an awkward fall late in the first half. Back out there, Corey Brown. What do you make of that change?
Well, I thought Jacob Melling's first half started well. He was a dominant midfielder and then got the yips and Brisbane scored, and it was all Brisbane pretty much from that point on. There's a zero tolerance for errors like that from Paul Ocon's view, then fair enough. Maybe it's that Wout Brama wasn't ready to start and run out at 90 minutes, but he's certainly a good replacement to have up your sleeve.
Yep, definitely a first-choice midfielder. Maybe he's right for 45 minutes only right now, and probably a starter next week. Here he is. Gets Josh Rose on the front foot. De Silva behind Wales, who was pointing in behind. And Hingett should be able to shepherd that out of play. I'll take the goal kick. Could have been a free kick. Jamie Young in no rush, and again, see the keepers struggling to penetrate towards halfway with their goal kicks. Let's get down to Glenn Lauder for a little update.
Speedy just spoke to both the assistant coaches. Ivan Jolic, his message from the Mariners: ball movement, ball movement, ball movement. They want to see it move quicker, move more often, positively going forward as well. They admitted they struggled in the wind in the first half, so obviously they'll have that at their back in the second half. For Ross and John Aloisi, they'll look to get the Mariners on the counter. They want to have a bit of a higher back four in the second half, but pretty much more of the same. And poor old Thomas Christensen didn't really get looked at half-time because there were so many other players that the physio and the doctor were just checking out for some little niggles, but obviously we'll find out a little bit more about Christensen's condition in the coming days.
High boot here. Jade North appealed for it. Eventually got the whistle. So a spot in the top six up for grabs for either team if they can win tonight. Live ladder currently, Brisbane would leapfrog the Wanderers, who have the chance to respond tomorrow, and they do have a game in hand as well to Western Sydney. Never across the line despite the appeals. Corey Brown had his bearings. Good burst of speed from Mackay. Leck trying to hold his run, flipped in towards Macaroni and got on the end of things. Botiak could track back, thinking he was going to get through to him. sail on the breeze away from Wales. Silva forced into retreat. R18 missed his countryman. Leck keeps making decent runs, as you can see. He turned away in frustration and he wasn't released. And there's Barrow into the back of Macaroni again.
Yep, racking them up, Alan Barrow. Macaroni just to his feet now, hobbling slightly.
Tiak had to go from this kind of range in the first half. Won't be doing it attacking this way. Got Papadopoulos, who's such a threat from set pieces. 4 goals already this season. Brisbane's second highest scorer, but didn't get through to him. He stayed forward though. He can make things happen. Holman. Mariners look to push out. Goes with a little stinger. It's Jamie Young. McGing got it all wrong. Bailed out by Barrow. Botiak, little no-look back heel. Brahma, after being beaten initially, won it back. Botiak and Holman had a dispute after the giveaway. Botiak went for that back heel because his boot had slipped off. Holman has no sympathy for him. After tracking back on his behalf, Botiak still down, sorting his boot out. Botiak still coming back from an offside position here. Brahma. R18, Botiak closing him down. Referee comes in. Just a little warning on the run. Still no cards for any players in this game yet.
They're really working hard on Tommy Ario. Free kick as it was. Sufficient, no yellow card there, but out of midfield, the guy on the ball there for the Mariners is a real danger man for the Raw.
Now, Oxborough got the block in. Holman finds a little channel to Macaroni. Barrow's upended him again. And here comes the card for the accumulation of fouls. And that is the 100th yellow card for the Central Coast Mariners against the Brisbane Roar down the years.
Pretty light on his feet, Macaroni. Let's face it, speedy. But the patience for Alan Barrow has run out. He got sucked into that one for Massimo Macaroni.
6th team to rack up a ton of yellow cards against an opponent. Adelaide United are the league leaders in that category, if you like, against 2 halves. You reckon the Reds picking up all the cards? Yeah, no doubt. All those finals they played together. Ross Aloisi might have been dished out of here. Now his team clicks into gear. Holman from the aggressive angle. Teammates waiting in the middle too.
He did have support, but none of it was particularly open or obvious, so quite right to back himself there. Brett Holman.
Oh, Matt Mackay pounces. Ben Kennedy, his error is punished. And the Mariners, their own worst enemies tonight. Matt Mackay with a rare goal. And is that enough for Brisbane to wrap up the points? We're still a long way from home, but they're looking rock solid tonight.
Well, Ben Kennedy for Hiario, and Matty Mackay was all over it. And it was Matt Mackay's pressure on Jacob Melling for the first goal as well. So a brace of sorts for the Brisbane skipper. And this is a rare sight, him finding the back of the net. Brisbane 2 clear.
And his first goal since that final win over the Melbourne Victory a couple of seasons ago. Matty Mackay with his 24th goal in his 238th A-League game. The Brisbane fans in party mode and showing us those shirts. There's more than one. There's about 7 or 8 of them who have gone for the Eric Botiak Memorial / Ivan Franjic shirt.
You know, does this, from what let's hope is the nadir for Brisbane Roar Football Club, become part of the celebration? They do the 77th minute celebration.
Maybe do it twice, do it in the 22nd as well.
Yeah.
Gotta love banter from the fans.
And they've picked up on it very quickly, and I guess I'm trying to cope with the depression out of Tuesday night as a fan is to try and make some sort of light of the situation.
Mariners look to hit back. Wales, is there enough on it? No. Holman just held up play nicely. Allowed Oxford to get into that space. Really is dictating the tempo for his team so often. Brett Holman getting heavily involved tonight.
It's very, very depressing goals to concede if you're a Mariners fan. And Ben Kennedy has such a low error rate as a goalkeeper. When he makes one, a howler like that, it really sticks out. Such a poor decision.
Brown's going to get there here and ride through that challenge. Botiak maintains the momentum. Macaroni just trying to cushion that down for a Corey Brown. Well played, Matt Mackay against the speedster in Apia. Interesting turn from Jade North, a little rusty perhaps. Similar turnover to the ones the Mariners have been coughing up, but Papadopoulos closed down on the shooting De Silva.
Well, Blake Powell does brilliantly. Jade North nearly did well enough, and it's excellent perseverance in the ball to De Silva, who needed to release Lockie Wales.
Macaroni holds his hand up after committing the foul on Barrow. Golick saying, where's my option to pass forward? Just has to lay it off to Brahma. Not a whole lot of movement. Further up the pitch by those in navy blue and gold. Corey Brown, plenty on that for Jamie Young. Ball's bound for the back of the net if the keeper doesn't get on the end of it. They can see the funny side. Nearly pinged off him. Silva determined. Oh, that's classy. Gets it back as well and then turned the wrong way. Matt Mackay with his tail up. Botiak. Macaroni wants it early. Deflection. Just allowed Golick to get across. And there's a teammate, Brett Holman, all alone at the back post for the deeper service.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was Holman, the intended target for Botiak. Great work again in the turnover, and Brisbane were away. Not a team, let's be frank, Speedy, who are blessed with speed. Very smart players, maybe starting to find some form. Such a disjointed campaign for the Roar because of a shocking list of player injuries. Very difficult to establish momentum and combinations.
There's another turnover, the quick pass forward. Oxborough's on his wrong side. Moss easily dealt with by Golick. Leck and Hingett. High. Early ball around the corner. Keeps making the runs, doesn't he, Daniel Leck? Tireless work rate down that right-hand side. They work that beautifully. Early ball And the important stretch to stop it getting through, but he was offside anyway, Macaroni.
The worrying lack of intensity, defensive intensity, if I can steal one of Ned Zelic's best. And Brisbane played through the Mariners beautifully. Macaroni clearly offside in front of the last defender and the ball, crucially. But they were toyed with then, the Mariners. Brisbane starting to get their touch. And the best way to stop Brisbane running away from this, from the Mariners' viewpoint, playing at home, is to lift their intensity. They've got to have that hunger to not want the ball to be played past them individually. You roll that mentality out across the field and you've got half a chance of winning the football match.
Brahma pulls one across the face. Wales doesn't find the feet of De Silva. Papadopoulos had a full head of steam up, and it's not the right option from Wales. That offside call at the other end was interesting, because we have seen the same situation when the defender stretches, puts it in the back of his own net, and the goal stands. Never got through to Macaroni. He never got a touch. Flag still goes up. I wonder what the assessors will say about that one. How do they turn it around in the last half hour?
Well, you'd have to be hoping Peter Skapetis wants to inflict some damage on his former employers. And it wouldn't have to be a like-for-like replacement. You could, at 2-0 down, say, let's throw on an extra attacker.
Macaroni talking it over with the fans, who think, like Harp said earlier, he's a little too light on his feet. He's saying, I'm being hacked from behind. What do you want me to do? Take it back a couple of metres, says Adam Kersey. Botiak takes it back about 80 centimetres. Mariners have dropped so deep to defend it. Papadopoulos spraying one. Delightful pass from the big centre half. R18 went for the aggressive pass to Apia. Didn't see the angle to just roll it to Brahma, who was under pressure. Really are slowing it down, and given the hurry up there by the fourth official, Corey Brown. I wonder whether they're testing the friendship a little too much right now, with time wasting a long way from home. Brahma, beautiful. Wales has plenty of space. Fans want him to shoot. He finds Blake Powell, opens up the angle, and they've got one back here. Their top scorer this season, Blake Powell, with number 4. And it's game on with half an hour to go.
Well, it's all about decisions, Speedy. And Lockie Wales in lead-up got this spot on right. He delayed and then timed the release just beautifully. The lead-up from Brahma was exquisite, really. Sucked in 3, reverse pass to Wales. Lockie Wales sucks in the defenders beautifully, timed that magnificently, and then Blake Powell gets rid of Jack Ingot. He finds the back of the net with a real scorching finish, but credit the youngster. He set that one up beautifully on the back of the work from Wout Brahma, and Blake Powell does the rest.
And he knows it's a pretty special finish, does Blake Powell. The way he celebrated that one, what a move on Jack Ingot. Left him for dead. Scored from the penalty spot last week against Sydney FC, one of his former clubs, and he's got goals in back-to-back weeks, just like Brett Holman. It was a year ago today when he picked up an injury. We didn't see him for about 10 months or so. He battled ongoing leg dramas. Brown did commit the foul. The assistant's given that decision. Referee looked over his shoulder to Owen Goldrick, and they decided it was worthy of a booking as well. No complaints from Corey Brown, who knew Apia had him for pace if he let him go.
Still have had a lot of work to do. Corbin Apia, when you're given the strength of the breeze, we've seen the ball roll away.
So Josh Rose off, Storm Rue on. I wonder whether Rose has called that himself or whether Ocon's gone with the fresher legs. Storm Rue was pretty handy in that left back position a few weeks back. Glenn Lauder's got an eagle eye on treatment being issued to Josh Rose right now. Wales, 1 assist to his name. Hiarie, they want him to shoot. He pulls it back, and De Silva turned in towards Papadopoulos. McGing, Brahma. Can he turn defenders inside out again? Apia is going to get there. Trying to pull it back across the face, and they get a corner out of it.
Well, game's changing. The goals really spark the Mariners. Brisbane hanging on for the time being. The home crowd get in behind their team and push them to some sort of exertion. Papadopoulos to keep the Brisbane defence together and strong.
A lot of pressure in that 6-yard box. They go with a short corner routine. Hiarie broken up by Holman, and that'll stay in for Botiak. Not a lot of support pushing out though. And the Mariners have it back through Hiarie. Centre halves had gone forward though. I was saying, why not just whip it in first time on a blustery night? Corner routine came to naught. Golick cast in the role of left winger temporarily. Silva turns that way again. This way and that. Behind McGing, who'd taken off.
A little bit of criticism for Jake McGing here. He was not nearly assertive enough, not once but twice, in his positioning off the ball to make Daniel De Silva's mind up for him. And Daniel De Silva, as he was trying to set the attack, was waiting for a proactive move from a teammate. And Jake McGing on that occasion was not ready to deliver.
Well, Jade North puts his hand up, and Daniel Bowles is being prepared. Very little game time for Jade North. Haven't seen him in the A-League since the round 5 goalless draw against the Mariners. And looks like he's done. Hopefully just a precautionary one for North to hopefully, it's just, the coach says later, he just felt some tightness, didn't want it to get out of hand. Bowles comes on. Let's get down to Glenn Lauder for some more.
Yeah, Speedy, I'll find out about Jade North in just a few seconds. I did speak to Josh Rose, though. He felt something go on the outside of his right knee when he slipped over at a throw-in a little bit earlier. So outside of the knee, hopefully no ligament damage for Josh Rose's sake. I also spoke to Thomas Christensen as well. He said no tear in his hammy, all pretty tight, though. So hopefully, for his sake, things will be OK.
No free kick for Macaroni, and the fans are getting stuck in.
That got allowed to cheer them the goal.
It's good byplay. Macaroni buying into it, playing with a smile on his face.
He's playing the villain. The Punch and Judy show.
Golick, that's going to find Apia. McGing made the run inside. Gets it from Hiarie. King was hoping Apia might burst in behind.
Again, this was now Corbin Apia's turn to be proactive. Read that situation. I got no complaint with Jake McGing threading that ball through. And when the Mariners are on a roll, those runs happen intuitively, automatically. And having let down his teammate, formerly Daniel De Silva, Jake McGing was now let down by Quabena Apia. There are these opportunities, though, for the Mariners to draw back level. They've got the ascendancy at the moment.
And while you're hot, Glenn Lauder, what's your latest?
Jade North, hip flexor issues, obviously, with so long out with that groin injury. Just a bit tight, they hope. Once again, nothing too serious for Jade North, but yeah, tight hip flexor after so long out.
And the Mariners send off their final two outfield options to do a little warm-up behind the goal. Which way do you think they'll go, Bahaja or Skapetis? As they continue to chase this game.
Well, if it's going to be Peter Skapetis, I'd like to see him play as a central striker. Maybe team up with Blake Powell. Daniel De Silva in behind them. I reckon there might be a little bit of potential in that little triumvirate.
Yeah, Ocon actually said that Brisbane played him out of position all season as a winger. Much more comfortable as a number 9. He's got the slick new hairdo for the big night. No goals in 14 appearances for Brisbane. A fair night to break his A-League duck, if given the opportunity. If given the opportunity. He's thinking, I'm on the big screen. Maybe Ocon's told them I'm not too far away. Botiak, Macaroni, clever flick on Papadopoulos. It just wouldn't sit for him to tap it home. It was agonising the way it almost came to him like a slower ball.
Well, these runs to the back post, he's so dangerous, Avram Papadopoulos, and I know, it just pitched and stuck. He found the crack. Tony Gregg's keys are there somewhere.
Yeah, a bit of turn. Spitting Cobra.
A little bit of an escape then for the Mariners. What do they do with that reprieve?
Great weight on the pass. McGing, Apia got there. And that deflection very handy as it was rolled harmlessly to Young. Saw him stretching it out moments ago too. So does Ocon. Pulled the trigger now on his third and final change. Brisbane able to play on with Apia off the pitch. Will he return?
Well, that might cruel Peter Skapetis if Paul Ocon is committed to him playing as a centre forward. If Quabena Apia is finished, it's going to be the budgie.
Trying to stretch that out. He'd love someone else to help him out. That treatment is arriving. Apia enters the fray. For how long? Could almost have snuck up there on Daniel Bowles. Not that he was interested in putting the young defender off Apia. Just happy to put one foot after the other. Good header won by McGing. And Kai played that cleverly. And his body in the road. Felt the nudge from Hiarie. Another one who was away with the Australian under-23 side, which didn't get out of the group in that AFC Championship. Story of that tournament is Vietnam, who beat the Aussies. The entire country getting behind the Vietnamese team. Dancing in the streets after each and every victory, and they're into the final. Brahma again getting his head up, and where is a runner? McGing puts his hand up. Tired lunge to try and keep that one in. More cramp worries, this time for Leck. He's ran himself into the ground. Brisbane have got one change left as well. We've got Gamiro or Brady to maybe replace Leck very shortly. Looks like it'll be a Gamiro. And the shot won't stay down from Storm Roo, but cutting in from that left-hand side. Looks a pretty good option for him. So inside the final 15 minutes or so, both coaches are going to make their third and final changes. Bahaja for Apia, and Gamiro will soon replace Leck. Energy sapping conditions here on the Central Coast. Has got a couple of the wingers.
This is the change, right? Leck's off.
Yeah.
Why does he need treatment for cramp? Let's get off and play.
Don't have to carry him off otherwise. He's off now. He's made the shortest possible journey to the sideline, and Corey Gamiro comes on.
He has worked hard. He's another youngster with promise. Daniel Leck, he didn't actually receive a lot of reward for his effort tonight as far as possession was concerned. See how Corey Gamiro goes. It's still early days in his return to full-time football, but it's good to see every time he takes the field.
And there was some promise the way he and Macaroni were teaming up as well a few weeks back. Gamiro played ahead of Macaroni. Right now, the number 9 continues in the central striker role. Gamiro out on the left wing. And he's the target here from Bowles. He's had a couple of moments already, Gamiro, where he's been asked to jump for those aerial duels, which is the real test when you come back from those ACLs. Shows that he doesn't think about them anymore. It's only us commentators reminding him of that. Hingett with time. Macaroni again makes a brilliant run. Gamiro. Holman continues his run. Pass was behind it.
Good for Brisbane Roar fans to see Brett Holman still running strongly after nigh on 80 minutes, when players much younger than he are starting to fall by the wayside. Brisbane are going to do anything in the back end of this season, and they're still alive in that discussion, and Holman's going to have to feature. This is really encouraging for him to still be moving so strongly. Scored the first goal, of course, tonight.
Brisbane seeking back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Can they hold on and close it out? Here come the Mariners again. Beautiful ball from Brahma. Roo earns his team another corner.
Terrific recovery from Eric Botiak. Great run from Storm Roo to force the issue.
Will McGing be the target? Golick and Barrow up as well. That young man has the most goals from corners this season. Oh, Alliance Hiarie. McGing could have rebounded anywhere, and Brisbane grateful to get it out of their own box. Brahma should send it back in. Didn't see a run being made that tempted him. Jamie Young given the hurry up here. He's coming out to take the free kick. They've stolen about 6 or 7 metres from where the infringement occurred. Did that flick off the hair of McGing? No. Corey Gamiro heard it. No time to check hotspot. Ball boy and Aloisi combined to get the ball to Brown eventually. Palmer and Gamiro trying to sort this one out and get the play back underway. And the Mariners finish with a flourish. Ocon a little frustrated with the way De Silva went sideways there. And he's his little star playmaker. He wants him to face forward. Now he can. Wales, he's able to go forward as well. The angle opening up here. Bahaja. And Brisbane got bodies in the road. It's been a story of the night.
There wasn't any old body. It was Avram Papadopoulos, one of the more imposing physiques. But again, his game sense and the timing was brilliant. And Bahaja had made some nice space for himself. He wasn't going to get round big Avram.
Silva sliding in through his opposite number to win that ball. We heard a complaint on the FX microphone earlier. Every time there's contact, it's a foul. It's frustrating a few fans tonight and observers. And there's a foul by Botiak on Roux. The youngsters are sensing something. On the edge of their seats, hoping for an equaliser at the least from their team.
We go then.
Brisbane's club record for the most games unbeaten against the same opponent. About to be equal tonight, you fancy? It'll be 11 straight games against the Mariners without defeat. Here's another yellow card for Jake McGing this time. Fourth booking of the season.
That's a clear yellow card. Jake McGing not at his best tonight. They just haven't found the zip, the Mariners. They got back to 2-1. They were looking like they might cause Brisbane some more trouble, and really it hasn't materialised. The Roar have been able to deal with it pretty effectively so far. It's fallen into a bit of a hole, the Mariners.
He's got a pretty good show reel, Eric Botiak, of free kicks from his time in the French top flight.
Come on!
See, the wind is an issue. They had to put the ball back down again as it was blowing away. Favours the right footer, and Macaroni not too far away from bending it in that top corner. Just wouldn't come down for it. Commanding header from Bowles over the top of Powell. Fresher legs highlighted there. Clear hand ball by Botiak. And they say, where's the card to the Mariners faithful? Bahaja hugging that left sideline with Roux. He's looking forward. The fans were demanding it. Headed back inside. Stretch by Gamiro. He takes off. And Mackay retreats. Given away to De Silva. Wales took up a nice position. First touch let him down there. And he's stretching out the cramp. Mackay hunting around again for one of those cheap turnovers they've profited from, and with the teammate down, Golick puts it out of play. There's no one to replace Lachie Wales, so they need to stretch out that cramp and get him firing again. Into the final 5 of the 90. Here's what this result means if it stays this way. Brisbane into the 6. Mariners still 3 points adrift, and Wanderers would have a couple of games in hand on them. It's been a nearly kind of season for the Mariners. Just 3 wins, though, to their credit. Brisbane already had 4 heading into tonight. John Aloisi has always backed them to come good once they got all their players available. This would be a handy 3 points on the road if they can close it out. Hunting 5 straight wins at this venue. Brisbane sportingly return possession. Wales still sidelined right now. So Mariners playing with 10. Oh, De Silva, what about that touch? Dragged it down with a little flick out. Rama. Lovely neat turn. Good weight on the pass too. McGing. Good stretch. He just held on long enough, did Bowles.
Excellent from Daniel Bowles. McGing found himself in an excellent position to deliver that ball into the penalty area. And amazing work from Daniel Bowles, really. Completely off balance.
Golick drives one. Botiak attending to his defensive side of the game. Oxborough was called upon very early off the bench, and he's acquitted himself very nicely in midfield. After replacing Christensen. Good link up here. And now bursting into space. Here's Corey Gamiro, a chance to kill off the Mariners. And Kennedy did just enough in company with Root to thwart Gamiro.
Great play by Brisbane, really. And the experience, just the technique, the strength of the technique of Macaroni to hold off defenders, link up with support players and then feed the on-charging Brett Holman. Probably should have sealed it. Bad touch from Gamiro, bearing in on goal. Played the goalkeeper and Rue into calculation. Otherwise, that was 3-1 for Brisbane.
Take in front. Stay in front. In front.
Hopeful ball from Hialia. Eluded Powell. Closing down by Bahaja. Keeps Brisbane in their defensive third.
That was a good little effort from Bahaja. See if he can repeat that and get some of his teammates to join in as well. Brisbane looking very, very solid at the moment, untroubled, efficient with the ball. I mean, they're probably a little bit more nervous than their body language is showing at the moment, because they're edging very close to an important win on the road if they can hang on.
Another chance. Bahagia. Right across the face, whipped in with some pace. We're into the 90th minute. And this incredible record looks like being added to, hunting their 15th win here on the Central Coast, the Brisbane Roar. 5 draws and just 2 defeats. Both wins for the Mariners came in the one season against Brisbane. How much stoppage time are those Brisbane fans going to be forced to endure? Fourth official is poised. And he signals 5 minutes for the Mariners to find something in stoppage time. A lot of draws for them of late, 4 out of the last 5. They're the only 4 points they've taken out of the last 24 available. Going to be tough to play finals when you go on that kind of run. They're singing in the travelling den. Played out off a Mariner again by Oxborough. What kind of reaction are we going to get from that man at full time? Looks like he's holding it a bit in at the moment. Said the other day after the embarrassing loss in the Champions League playoff game, I won't walk away, I don't give up. John Aloisi still believes in his team. And it's a frustrating little period for the Central Coast, who can't get out of this corner right now. Oof, Brahma, what kind of challenge was that? He's only just back from injury. He might be about to serve some time on the sidelines. What is the referee going to show him here? I think he reached for the back pocket, and then he maybe held fire and waited for Strebre-Dolovsky to give him a tip-off from upstairs. Didn't look good. Looked like a frustrated kind of challenge from Wout Brummer.
Very frustrated with the throw, and he was having a verbal with Jack Hingett. No, he's got, that's awful.
Wow.
Oh, ouchie, wow. Unforgivable.
On Corey Gamiro. He's had so many injury concerns, and Brahma nearly gave him another one there. No care for his fellow professional, and the Mariners will be down to 10 very shortly. Matt Mackay right in his face. Oxborough saw it as well.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Okay? You go to that VAR. The contact is right on the fucking shit. Like that. And he's like straight there.
Oh, they are kidding. They are kidding if that's not a red card. Matt Mackay knows it. Gamiro's still down.
Well, they're still checking Speedy, we haven't seen the final decision yet, because this has to be a red card.
Strebre-Dolovsky has got the message across now. And here it comes. Wout Brummer sent off after a shocking challenge in stoppage time. Stoppage time will continue, but with 10 men, they've only got 3 or 4 minutes to find the equaliser, and Brummer hangs his head in shame. Second red card already in his young A-League career. First one, you may remember, was when a yellow was upgraded to a red. I'm told that's what happened here. Here we go. There's the yellow card shown by Adam Kersey, and that's why Matt Mackay said, hang on a minute, tell the VAR to sort it out, and they did eventually. That's what it's there for, Harps.
Well, I mean, I'm just speechless. It is a moment of frustration when he's just totally lost control and potentially compromised the health and well-being of another player. Forget that it's Corey Gamero who's had 3 knee constructions. That's for us to ponder. Any player in that situation doesn't deserve to feel the wrath of your frustration. It's awful.
Nudged under it. Well, the Mariners fans scream for a penalty. Corey Brown went right underneath Blake Powell there.
What are you doing, man?
Not too many appeals from the Mariners players on the pitch. Have you seen them given, Harps?
That old chestnut. Brett Holman certainly gave Corey Gamero an earful for just kicking the ball away. The Raw want to play this one out. And they'll feel they're best served by keeping the ball and denying the Mariners any other chances. And they've got enough quality out there, the Mariners, to resurrect something from here, even though they are a man down.
How long are we going on for? Barrow makes way, hoping for a flick on from McGing's throat. It's all the way through, but too many numbers there. McGing does well and tries to settle for a corner for a moment there. He thought the signal might be goal kick. Here we go. That's the way Brown on Powell here. Handful of shirt, no dramas.
Not overly compelling.
De Silva. Bodies flying everywhere. Hooked out of there by Oxborough. There's no Mariners players streaming back, so Papadopoulos, clever run. Can't be offside. He was still in his own half when it was played. What about this from Avram Papadopoulos, who unselfishly tried to pull it back to Macaroni. Gotta love the endeavour and smarts of this big centre half when he pushes forward.
Oh, I love him. He's a great player. He timed this brilliantly. Thankfully, Botiek had the correct angles. Go for goal yourself, Avram.
There's a few boos at the Central Coast Stadium, but the Brisbane Roar end what was called the worst week in the club's history on a high. They bounced back from the humiliation in the Champions League by claiming all 3 points at their happy hunting ground, the Central Coast Stadium. Beaten just twice here in A-League history. They've got 15 wins to their credit now, and they're into the 6. The Mariners will have to deal with the suspension to Wout Brummer as well. Shown a straight red card at the death. Full time here, Brisbane 2, Central Coast 1. Exciting game. We did get the goals between these two after they played out the stalemate last time they met. But a massive result for John Aloisi and his team. Peter Skapetis didn't get to take on his former club. There was no gentleman's agreement drawn up between the clubs. He was available off the bench tonight, but not utilised by Paul Ocon in the end. It was an energy-sapping night for all the players out there, and we can get some reaction very shortly from Glenn Lauder.
Yeah, thanks very much, Speedy. The NAB player of the match, $500 goes to Matty Mackay. Matty, congratulations on that performance. And I guess after some were calling it the worst week in the club's history, how nice is it to come out and prove a point tonight?
Yeah, it shows some character in the team. Still not a great performance, but I thought we pressed quite well, and in patches we played some good stuff. So, yeah, I mean, people are going to write us off, you know, but for us, we've spoken about it. We've had 2 grand finals the last couple of weeks, and we move on. We've got 9 to go, so we want to make finals.
Yeah, you're in the 6 now, albeit Western Sydney played tomorrow. You're obviously confident that you will be there.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to keep going. There's no point giving up. We've got a lot of winners in our team, a lot of experience. But, you know, we've been able to deal with, which was a horrible night, obviously, the other night. So it shows good character and we move on.
And obviously, the Mariners started pretty strong. You had to get that goal almost against the run of play. I mean, that really shows how hard you work for it.
Yeah, they're a great team. You know, I've really enjoyed watching them play this year. Some great players. You know, I really enjoy watching Danny De Silva and a few others. So, you know, they're a dangerous team. We spoke about that, and it's a good reaction from the other night.
Thanks, Matty. Well done.
Cheers.
Yeah, very happy. Matt Mackay, obviously a very disappointed Blake Powell on the goal-scoring sheet tonight. But Blake, another game where the Central Coast dominated for large periods but couldn't get the result.
Yeah, it's obviously a disappointing result, but you know, we're still confident with our playing style, so you know we'll stick to that every week. It doesn't matter who the opposition is. You know, we'll have another hard week of training and we'll go again.
Is there just something small that is missing?
Yeah, obviously, you know, we'd like to score some more goals. You know, that takes, you know, more players getting in the box, more deliveries in the box, and, you know, we ride our own luck. So, you know, we're playing some good football. We should be confident with the way we're playing. You know, 2 mistakes at the back, but it doesn't matter. Like, you know, we've proven every week, week in, week out, we can play from the back. So, you know, the boys should still hold their heads high and, as I said, we can regroup and we go next week against Wanderers.
Matty Mackay just said then that there's plenty of belief in Brisbane's camp that they can be in the top 6. What about you guys?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we've had the confidence all year. Just that little bit of luck that's not going our way, but, you know, once it falls for us, you know, we'll be in the top 6 easy.
Thanks, Blake.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
So the NAB Alex Tobin Award 3-2-1. Matt Mackay with the 3, Avram Papadopoulos with the 2, and Brett Holman with a goal and with the 1. And doesn't he look over the moon about it? That Fox Sports Player of the Year. Thanks to NAB. They will be over the moon. I jest slightly. They will be over the moon with the fact that they have, oddly enough, after the week they've had, they've got back-to-back wins in the A-League, Brisbane Roar.
Yeah.
Glass half full.
No, they deserve to feel that way. Like Matty Mackay says, Zachary, a horrible night the other night on Tuesday. For both on the pitch and off the pitch reasons. Although they were gifted both goals, a win is a win in this situation. Showed tremendous character, just like Adelaide did last week, to bounce back. And especially as well, when Powell scores that goal, there's nearly half an hour to go, Archie, and you're thinking, you know, Central Coast are really going to, you know, put them to the sword, and they did, Central Coast. But to be fair to Brisbane, they held strong.
Yeah, and Aloisi touched on it before the game. Their reaction at training, their intensity before the match. But you know, as a Central Coast player and Ocon, we should be thinking, well, how can we gift teams these chances? I mean, it's criminal. It's you're giving the ball away in key positions against a quality team like Brisbane with the experience they have. They're going to punish you, and they have. And I thought actually Brett Holman was outstanding tonight. I thought too that
this is a good goal.
This is a great goal. I mean, Powell, he didn't do much during the night, but when he was called upon, it was a great footwork. Took his player on and a great finisher. And it was few and far between, I think, for Central Coast. There was just not enough players wanting to go at defenders, and you know, when they do that, this is a result of it.
Yeah, by the time they play their next match, which is at home to Western Sydney Wanderers, it will be 2 months since their last win, Central Coast Mariners. The latter, Brisbane Roar, amazingly, incredibly, they're into the 6. After that particular win, they're above the Western Sydney Wanderers in that position. Now, guys, the talking point before we have to go, the talking point we want to get to is the Wout Brama tackle.
Disgusting.
Terrible?
Disgusting. He's very, very fortunate that Corey Gamero is not injured at all. I do not want to see tackles like that in our game full stop. I'd suspend him for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Arch?
I mean, look, Gamero too, he's a boy that's just been plagued with injury over the last few years, and a tackle like that could end someone's career. It's disgusting. I mean, as an ex-professional, and you don't want to see players do things like this, especially to harm someone else, because his intent was not at all to win that ball, but to literally break the boy's leg. And lucky for Camero, who's had a tough spell of injuries, is not serious as it could have been. I mean, that could have easily been a broken leg.
Let's now hear from John Aloisi, Brisbane Roar coach. We'll get to that in a moment. John, congratulations, firstly, on the win. As just mentioned, it's back-to-back in the league, but I guess after the week, it's kind of had other things occupying your mind, not going back-to-back in the league, or you wanted the result tonight. But What does that show about your club, and was it fair, everything thrown your way in the lead up to this game?
Well, it is fair because there's a lot that's going on in our club. There's a lot that's gone on for a long period in our club. But all I said to the players that we owe it to ourselves and also our supporters that we fight and that we put on a performance that they're proud of. And during the week we didn't. But tonight we did, and I was proud of the boys, and we're just going to keep on fighting. We've got another 9 finals coming up, and we want to make the 6. We believe we can make the 6, and it's important that we keep on working hard.
Hey, Johnny, congratulations tonight, mate. You must be pleased that you're starting to get some of your key players back. I see Jade North and Papadopoulos in the back is obviously very key for you. And then also up front, you've got Macaroni, Boateng and even Brett Holman starting to get a bit of game time. You must be pleased with that, especially leading into what you think is 9 grand finals.
Yeah, look, it's been a tough year injury-wise, and we've also picked up another one tonight with Thomas Christensen having to go off, which is a bit of a blow for us. But Brett Holman makes a massive difference. We know that him coming back into the side, it gives us that extra quality going forward, and scored a goal again tonight, but also his work rate was phenomenal.
And John, after Tuesday night, I mean, how do you approach it with the boys? How do you get them, to pull themselves around and regroup like they did today? What did you actually do?
It was, boys, when we step foot on the pitch, no one cares what goes on in the background. No one cares if we're having difficulties. We've got no excuses. We don't want excuses. We're responsible for our performance on the pitch. Us as a team, myself as a coach, I'm responsible. And that was mainly our discussion during the week, that, we have to make sure that we give everything, every game, every training session, and we don't have any excuses, even if there is issues within the football club. So, the club are trying their best to turn things around. They're working hard in-house, and we have to try and keep it in-house.
Hopefully you can let us know what was going on. We saw the pictures of Paul Ocon, and you were having discussions with him. He was saying something to Jamie Young as well. We don't know what happened. Can you clear it up for us? Was it to do with the Brahma incident with Corey?
Yeah, it was to do with the Brahma incident. Corey Gamiro was nearly in tears because he's been out for such a long period with 3 knee recons, and it was a little bit emotional. And Paul Ocon didn't do anything wrong. He just went up to Corey to see how he was, and there was a bit of words exchanged. But both of them, they've got no issues. They're just in the heat of the moment.
Winning cures a lot of things. John, congratulations on winning and finding a few cures, and best of luck next week. Maybe get on a little run.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Congratulations, Johnny.
Let's have a look at what's coming up next week on Hyundai Matchday Saturday before we say goodbye to our viewers on 1 through Network 10. Our first match on Matchday Saturday on Fox Sports will be Newcastle and Melbourne Victory, and then after that it's the Cooper Stadium. Adelaide United had a great win across the ditch this afternoon. They'll take on Perth Glory, who play tomorrow against the Western Sydney Wanderers. So 2 good games coming on Matchday Saturday, but Adelaide and Perth Glory is the featured match known as the Desert Derby. So that is about all we have time for the viewers on Network 10. So Brisbane Roar, after all of that, after the week they've had, and indeed winning last week against Perth in that high-pressure match, losing their place in the Champions League, they bounced back away from home. Central Coast have just 2 wins over Brisbane Roar in 22 at home. It's an incredible record the Roar have at that particular ground. Central Coast have to pick themselves up once again. They've got the Wanderers next week. Brisbane have got Melbourne City, both those games at home. Thanks for watching on Network 10. Back in a moment on Fox.
This program brought to you by Macca's Gourmet Creations.